Yeah, good morning, friends, and you're welcome back to the channel. It's always beautiful to have you here. Today, we're going to be discussing very quickly the concept of pathogenicity and virulence. In microbiology, we deal with a lot of things and a lot of microorganisms that have different capacities and capabilities. But of very paramount importance is the ability of microorganisms to cause diseases in humans, diseases in animals, diseases that are of economic importance. So when we talk about the concept of pathogenicity and virulence, first, when we say pathogenicity, we are talking about the innate ability of a microorganism to cause a disease. So when a microorganism has the ability to cause disease in humans, or disease in even animals, we say that, or even in plants, if the disease is caused by a microorganism and is caused in plants, humans, animals, we say that microorganism is pathogenic in nature. So that inherent capacity and ability to cause disease is pathogenicity. Now, what is virulence? Virulence has been described in many ways. We look at virulence as the severity of the illness or the disease that is caused by the pathogen. So if a pathogen causes a disease, how severe is this illness? How severe is this disease to the organism, to the host organism, the organism to which the disease has been centered in? How severe is this disease? And this is important because if you look at 2, 3 examples of diseases I can give you, if you look at Ebola and you look at malaria, you can see that these are diseases that are caused by organisms, minute organisms, but you realize that the severity of the diseases is different. The capacity of the organisms that are causing these diseases are different. You can have malaria and be going to work. You can have malaria and be attending to your normal duties. If you have Ebola, you're going to be incapacitated. You surely cannot be attending to your normal duties. So, and then we even discuss severity, we discuss virulence even further when we talk about things such as virulence factors. So we go from pathogenicity, which talks about the ability to cause diseases, to talk about virulence, which talks about the severity, the kind of illness that is being caused. And then we talk about virulence factors, which are the elements that the organism possesses, which it uses to cause disease. So when you're talking about virulence and virulence factors, you need to talk about issues of what are the elements that these organisms possess, these pathogenic organisms, what do they possess within them that helps them, makes them capable of causing diseases, that makes them pathogenic in nature. That's what we talk about when we begin to talk about virulence factors and virulence on its own. So when you begin to look at all these concepts, you realize that for a microorganism to be able to cause a disease, it's going to have particular factors, particular elements, particular properties that the organism has, which it uses to cause all these illnesses. Top among such factors, virulence factors, you can talk about adhesins. And adhesins comes from the English word adhesion, which means to, attach to a surface. And you find out that before a microorganism is able to cause a disease, it must be able to attach itself to the surface of its host organism. If it cannot attach to the surface of the host organism, it's going to be difficult for it to anchor itself to that host organism and then make many copies of itself or make other products of itself with which it can use to cause this disease. So adhesins is what the virulence factor is called. And the act of attaching is adhesion, and this is a very important virulence factor. You also have other factors like the production of toxins. It's not every organism that is able to cause disease by just replicating itself. Sometimes what the organism is able to do is that it produces toxins, and there are different types of toxins. Toxins are these chemical substances that are either present within the organism. We talk about them as endotoxins, or they can be secreted out of the organism, which we call exotoxins. But these toxins are chemical substances that are able to bring considerable change, injurious change to the host organism. So you have adhesins, you have toxins, you have invasion mechanisms. How is the organism going to find its way into his host? And when it gets into his host, how is he going to find his way around the host? There are so many concepts to be discussed, and we'll discuss. Different pathogens have different affinities for different organs within the human body. So, how is this pathogen going to navigate that? And lastly, how is this pathogen going to evade the host immune system? It's like a battle. As the pathogen is trying to anchor itself, trying to multiply within the host's body, whether it's a human or an animal or a plant. The host itself also has a mechanism, like if the host were to be human, it has the immune system which it tries to use to push out this pathogen. So you have this consistent battle between host and pathogen. And even in medical microbiology, we talk about it as the host pathogen relationship or the host pathogen interaction. These are important aspects that we need to deal with. So lastly, to just close this class, it's important to note that pathogens are of different types. You have pathogenic bacteria that cause different kind of bacterial illnesses. You have pathogenic viruses, you have pathogenic fungi, you have pathogenic parasites. Our next class will be discussing all these different types of pathogens. Thank you for listening. And remember to like and subscribe to our channel. We hope to bring you science in a way that is easy to understand, a way that the concepts, you get them, you understand them, and we break them down slowly and effectively. Thank you for listening and have a blessed day. Ciao.